In the old days, they say, okay, you get to develop rapport 10% of the time, right? 20% of the time will be qualifying. Then you have 30% where you'll be actually presenting and 40% closing. And the example of this is like, you ever seen the movie Tin Men? Where like they're these door-to-door salesmen. They go in for a couple of seconds. They drop a $5 bill on the floor. They said, ooh, is this your money to get credibility with the people? They develop rapport like that. Then they go and give a quick couple of questions they can afford, and they slam the presentation, and bam, they close until either the person says no, or they just hit them over the head until they say yes. That's the old selling model. And this model's got a bad rap. Okay, if you say to someone, oh, I sell them a closer, it has some stigma to it. So they came up with the new model, which I think is a total joke. Okay, here's the new model. Okay, right here. Okay, and what this is called consultative selling. And this is selling for people that don't want to admit they're selling. They're like, I'm not really selling anybody. I'm just filling people's needs by asking them what they want. So what happens is this. Most of the time is spent building relationships or developing rapport, 40% of the time, right? 30% of the time, right, you're identifying what their needs are. Then you present solutions 20% of the time, and then you close 10% of the time. So you're really never even closing, just a little sliver, right? This is the biggest crock of shit I've ever seen in my life, okay? And I'll tell you why, okay? And you're in sales, right? If you're not closing, you got to get out of the business, okay? You know when your closing starts in sales? I'll tell you exactly when it starts. It starts right here. The instant you open up your mouth, you're closing the sale. Every word that you utter is about getting to this point of the line. There's nothing evil about selling or persuading or influencing if you're selling a quality product and if you've qualified the person out and it's what they need. But you got to wipe the shit out of your head that there's anything wrong with influencing people. If that's how you feel, and I don't think there's really anyone in this room that feels it because you're salespeople. But sometimes I walk into a room and they're like, well, I'm not really a salesperson per se. I'm just like, identifying people's needs and trying to fill them elegantly. So here's what I ask you for. There's only two things. Number one is 60 days. And please write this down. This is important. For the next 60 days, while you embrace this system, and I promise it will dramatically improve your production, I want you to stretch. And what that means is you work twice as hard. I've been in business about 50 times in my life. I've taken public about 120 companies, raised $1.5 billion for venture capital. And I'll tell you this, I failed about 40 times. Been bankrupt. Had business I built up, didn't work, right? So what happens in life is this. There are certain windows that you have when things are working. And when you have that, you got to work twice as hard. It's like a window to jump through of opportunity, right? That's the way it is. So what I want you to do is right now, when you're first learning the system, don't say, okay, well, it really works. I'm just going to kind of do what I always did. However many calls you're making, I want you to make twice as many calls. If you're dressing a certain way, dress that way every second of the day. Whatever your commitment is to your thoughts, what you're thinking about, where you're going in life, the goals you're setting, I want you to stretch them, not forever. Not forever, just for 2 months, 60 days. Because that's the kind of the amount of time that it takes for you really to take hold and internalize this stuff, okay? So that's number one, okay? Ethical guidelines, this is the second thing. And I said it again, and I said before, I'll say it again, okay? Number one, okay, do not pressure a client to do something they should not do. Write that down, please, and ensconce it indelibly in your mind. And in about 2 hours, you'll say, I know why he's saying that now. Because you're going to realize there are certain unconscious buying triggers and certain tonal patterns that make people buy things they shouldn't buy when used the wrong way. Do not use this for that. Okay?